Now up next, I want to talk about an episode of Monday Night Raw from April 2007. And it was the first, and I believe only, episode of Monday Night Raw to emanate from Milan, Italy. Now, this was part of a European tour, which, if my research is correct, is quite astonishing because there was 22 shows in 9 days, which is quite the feat. Across this tour, they recorded over 12 hours of TV, including the aforementioned Monday Night Raw here in Milan, Italy. A lot of short matches on this card. There was only one match that went above 6 minutes, and that was the main event featuring John Cena against the team of Edge and Randy Orton, rated RKO. Everything else on the card was just short matches and interviews and such. Probably more famous from this tour would have been the following week when they did Raw from London, England, and there was an absolute epic between John Cena and Shawn Michaels, which went the best part of an hour, and it's called one of the best Monday Night Raw matches of all time. Maybe that'll be one we can talk about in a future episode. But what I want to talk about today is probably the most famous thing that happened on the show, and that was the Intercontinental Champion, Umaga, defending against a fan. Yes, defending against a fan. Not a real fan, of course. It was a plant. But it was quite a unique scenario. Briefly, what happened is Umaga's out after a interview promo segment with the coach and Vince McMahon. Now, this is in the fallout of WrestleMania 23, where Vince McMahon had his head shaved by Donald Trump after the Battle of the Billionaires match. We get a recap of what's been going on between Bobby Lashley, who was who had Donald Trump in his corner at WrestleMania against Umaga. We get a recap of the feud between Lashley and the McMahons that's been going on. Vince's promo comes out insulting the Italians, and he says that Bobby Lashley is not in the arena tonight. And on behalf of Umaga, he issues an open challenge to the locker room. And there's no answer. Nobody comes out to answer this challenge. So he says, alright then, let's put the Intercontinental title on the line. And again, no one responds to the challenge. So he says, okay, let's try about the fans. There's a guy, it's just this random guy, gets in the ring. There's soccer chants, as the crowd call it, going on. The fan identifies himself as Santino Marella, and the crowd starts chanting for Santino. Vince makes it clear that he cannot be held responsible for anything that happens, so the fan is on his own. A referee comes down and the bell rings. And Santino unbelievably shocks people with a few kicks and a roll-up for a 2 count. People were not expecting that. So Vince stops things. He says, oh, by the way, this is a no-holds-barred match. And that's when Umaga takes over, and his manager, Armando Alejandro Estrada, apologies, but that's kind of how he says it. He does it way better than I do. Gets involved. And here comes Bobby Lashley. He is in the arena after all. He throws Umaga off the top rope. Vince tries to get him with a chair, but Lashley takes it off him. Hits Umaga 3 times with the head with the chair. Hits him with the spear. Dumps Santino on top. And we have a new Intercontinental Champion. Just some guy who showed up as a fan. This was a fun and shocking moment. The match itself is really a bit of nothing. So if I was going to rate just the match in terms of match quality, I'd probably give it about a 3 out of 10. But as an angle, as a story, as a piece of television, it's really, really fun. And really furthers the story between Lashley and the McMahons, and establishes this new character, Santino Marella, who would go on to have quite the career in WWF once he established himself. He didn't stay as just the lucky fan, but he became one of the more memorable comedy characters, and won a few more titles as well in his time. So if I was judging this on the piece of television, the angle as it were, I'd probably give this a 7 out of 10, but pure match quality, not a lot really happens, so I'm not going beyond 3 out of 10. But a very fun piece of WWE television nonetheless.
The Rain